On October 1st, 1991, a precious baby girl was born into this world, Carlin Faith Dial.
What? Whoa, wait. We need to start this over. Carly and I might share the same birthday, but this story, it's about me.
Jessica, Diane, Brandon. On Tuesday, October 1st, 1991, at 10:22 a.m., this world was changed forever. I, Jessica Diane Brandon, arrived at Gadsden Regional Medical Center. I was a very independent baby who wanted nothing more than to suck my thumb as I held onto my blank sheet. Too bad I eventually gave up my thumb because since then I have not stopped talking. I've now grown into a very athletic country girl. I love mudding and big trucks. Most of my time is spent on a court or track of some kind, but my heart lies in basketball. The place that will always be home to me is 235 County Road 79 in Center. I became the big sister to Christopher Colby Brandon sometime. My goal in life since about 7th grade has been to go to college and participate in a sport, preferably basketball at the collegiate level. I would love for that to be on a basketball scholarship. While in college, I plan to obtain a degree in education. One day I would love to be able to teach and coach girls basketball at the high school level. Of course, I also hope to get married and have a family one day.
Country. It's all about the country. From the backwoods, she's a homegrown, down to the bone, she's country.
Back in the early 90s, Christopher Harold Brandon met Connie Diane Brady while cruising Broad Street in downtown Gadsden, Alabama. Connie was the daughter of Sonny and Sharon Brady. Her grandparents were Bill and Dot Benson and Leonard and Minnie Brady. She had one older brother, Carl Eugene Brady. Chris was the son of Janie and Harold Brandon. His grandparents were Newman and Maxine St. Clair and Lester and Ruth Brandon. He had one older sister, Lisa Brandon. My parents often tell me about all the special people that were a big part of their lives right before I was born. They were Charity and Tyler Chambers, Jody and Jason St. Clair, and Jason Lee. Two very special couples that have been around since before I was born are Mark and Pam Gossett and Mike and Nikki Gossett. They have all been a very important part of my life. They were there when I was born and they are still around now. I can truly say that my life would not be the same without Mike and Nikki Gossett. They have been some of my parents' best friends forever. Anytime my parents ever needed anything, these two families have always been there for them, and they have continued to be there today.
You see, I come from a long line of love. When the times get hard, we don't give up. Forever's in my heart and in my blood. You see, I come from a long line of love.
The place that I call home is a cute split-level sitting on 2 acres of land in the Tate's Chapel community. My home is located at 235 County Road 79 in Center, a small city in rural Cherokee County in the great state of Alabama. Have you ever heard the saying, the best part of living in the small town is when I don't know what I'm doing, someone else does? Well, that is the type of place where I was raised. Sometimes it is very annoying living in a small town, not just because there is not much to do, but because when you do anything wrong, your parents usually know by the time you get home. At other times, it can be comforting living in a small town. Everywhere I go, someone knows me and is always watching out for me. I love to be able to go to town and people congratulate me for my accomplishments that they have had or heard about in the local news. Like the song says, whether you're late for church or you're stuck in jail, hey, word's gonna get around. Everybody dies famous in a small town.
Every last one, round one, rural heart's got a story to tell. Every grandma, in-law, ex-girlfriend maybe knows it just a little too well. Whether you're late for church or you're stuck in jail, hey, word's gonna get around. Everybody dies famous in a small town.
My earliest memories of school would have to come from Miss Lisa's class at Lollipop Education Center. I also remember going to preschool at the Early Learning Center with Miss Dykes. All this just led up to my first day of kindergarten at Cedar Bluff School. On my first day of school, I walked into Miss Novak's room and waved goodbye to my crying mom. This year I became friends with Brittany Laney, Brittany Carter, Michelle Adams, and Helena Waits, just to name a few. I spent the next 2 years here at Cedar Bluff. I made a lot of friends during those years. The following summer I experienced a big change. We moved to Gadsden and I started 3rd grade at R.A. Mitchell Elementary. On the first day of school I met Carl and Faith Dial for the second time in my life. Yes, the one I mentioned at the beginning. At Mitchell, I quickly made friends with Carly, Katie Rary, Betty Katie Hyde, Bevan Blackwell, and Haley Kaysen. We were always together and became known as the 6 Sassy Chicks. During this time, my favorite teacher had to be my 5th grade teacher, Mr. Waits. Poor man, Bevan and I terrorized him. We hid in lockers and stood in desks, but rewarded him by nominating him as the Z93 Teacher of the Month. He received $93 for our classroom, and we had a Chick-fil-A for lunch.
Let them be little, 'cause they're only that way for a while. Give them hope, give them praise, give them love every day. Let them cry, let them giggle, let them sleep in the middle. Oh, but let them be little.
My first crush was when I was in kindergarten here at Cedar Bluff. Of course, it was Caleb Crane. I think nearly every girl in our class had a crush on him at some time throughout the years. For the longest, we all thought that he was the cutest boy in our whole class. I remember that my first kiss was with him on the playground one day while we were at PE. I'll never forget how excited everyone was because I had kissed Caleb. One time while we were in kindergarten, Miss Kay Davis promised me a picture of Caleb if I would sing for her at the Relay for Life. So I did, and the next day she came to my house to drop off my reward. Caleb and I liked each other from kindergarten all the way through about 7th grade. Even when I moved to Gadsden, I would come to visit and we would still talk sometimes. I will never forget how when I moved back to Cedar Bluff in 6th grade, as soon as I returned, he became my boyfriend again. I even think he had to hurt someone's feelings and break up with him so I could be his girlfriend. That year on Valentine's Day, he showed up at my house with a dozen roses. I think we were both a little embarrassed. Even when he broke my foot while playing tackle basketball at PE in the 7th grade, I still liked him. Looking back now, I wonder why I liked him. Then I realized it was just puppy love.
Do you love me? Do you wanna be my friend? And if you do, well then don't be afraid to take me by the hand. If you want to, I think this is how love goes. Check yes or no.
As a young child, there were not that many games that were just popular or just something that everyone did. I never lived in a subdivision or neighborhood with lots of other children, so for the first 4.5 years of my life, my playmates were my friends at school and my older cousins. I do not recall playing many games then, but I do remember going and watching them play various sports. Once Colby came along, I gained a new friend. We always played and fought with each other. Once I started school, I remembered playing freeze tag, Red Rover, and Heads Up 7-Up. Freeze tag and Red Rover were fun things we were able to do during PE. Playing Heads Up 7-Up was always a reward for being good in class. When we had been behaving throughout the week, our teachers would let us play. Wow, how easy it was to please us back then. Once I got to middle school, the game changed for me. Then I learned that I have a very competitive streak and a desire to win. I tried cheerleading for a few years and realized that it was just a bunch of girls trying to one-up each other. I gave basketball a try and found out that it was my love. Basketball became my game.
Sometimes you gotta suck it up and go back down on the bullet. Don't let nobody know. Wrap it up, walk it off, tough it out, dust off the dirt. Sometimes you gotta play hurt.
My middle school years were very different. I began 6th grade at General Forest Middle School in Gadsden. The only semester I was there, I was able to experience my first bout with 6 periods, which meant 6 different teachers, playing the flute and band, and I got to attend my first Christmas dance. Midway through my 6th grade year, my family decided to move back to Center, so back to Cedar Bluff I went. That year, I decided to try out for cheerleader and basketball. I tried out for cheerleader and made the team and was even the captain. Not long after that, we had basketball tryouts and I made the varsity basketball team. During basketball season my 7th grade year, I learned a lot of new things. I experienced my first team camp at Florida State University and learned that the girls from Spruce Creek might be boys. I learned what the inside of a garbage can looks like thanks to Leanne and Caroline. I had my first start as a varsity player because for the first game of the season, Audrey had been suspended for having a cell phone at school. I learned how to make a Jessica sandwich. Finally, I learned that taking a charge drill from Caroline hurts as well as gives you the experience of flying. All this only made me a better player. One accomplishment that I am most proud of during my middle school years is that by my 8th grade year, I was a starter on the varsity basketball team. There I learned the meaning of a team. I was the youngest, most inexperienced player on the court, but no one ever told me that. I was a part of their team, and they taught me the game.
Count to 10, take it in. This is life before you know who you're gonna be. 15.
If I had the chance to see someone again that I no longer get to see, it would be my Papa Brandon. In March of 2003, he left home early on a Monday morning, never to return home again. After being considered a missing person case for a week, we received a phone call that his body had been found in an abandoned house in Reese City, Alabama. Later, we learned that he had been murdered and robbed by 2 men, one of those who were from Leesburg and as a child had gone to school with my dad. My life changed dramatically that year. When he was alive, I was only cheering at the time, and I had never really thought about playing basketball, volleyball, or running track. He probably never would have believed that his once cheerleading granddaughter would grow up to be a successful athlete as I am today. As a former athlete himself, I know that he would have pushed me hard and supported me throughout the years. I believe he is in heaven now with the biggest smile on his face, seeing all the awards I've won because of an actual sport, not just cheerleading. I wish that just once he could have seen me be the lead scorer on the court, or could have been there to see me win state, if he could only see me now.
When I try to make it make sense in my mind, the only conclusion I come to is that heaven was needing a hero like you.
Growing up, I spent many hours traveling and watching great movies. I was one of the few children that actually loved The Wizard of Oz. I've seen the play The Wizard of Oz performed by Fort Payne High, by Sneed State at the Pittman in Gadsden, as well as the Gadsden State where I got to meet an original Munchkin. Because of basketball, the movie Lovin' Basketball became one of my favorite movies. Leanne insisted that we watch it in the locker room before every home game. As a child, we made several memorable trips to my Uncle Bill and Aunt Nat's house in Columbus, Mississippi. Every year for Thanksgiving, we would go there and have a huge family gathering. We would ride horses, play outside, and have a girls' day out shopping spree on Black Friday. My first long trip away from home would have to be when we went to Panama City Beach. Right then and there, I fell in love with the beach and wanted to stay there forever. I've been very fortunate that my brother has been playing travel baseball for several years now. I have spent time in Alabaster, Coleman, Hoover, Chattanooga, and Huntsville, just to name a few places. One year we traveled to Franklin, Tennessee, and last summer we made 2 trips to the beach. This past summer we went to Disney World for the 2nd time. Through all of my travels, I have learned that an 8.5-hour car ride is not fun when you have to share the back seat with your brother, his long legs and his big feet, or is it fair when we have to go to the world's largest McDonald's just because my brother feels that it is a famous landmark? But then again, it was really fun to be able to spend time with my family away from home.
Some beach, somewhere, there's a big umbrella casting shade over an empty chair. Palm trees are growing and warm breezes blowing. I picture myself right there on some beach somewhere.
My high school years have been a blast. I've had great friends, coaches, and teachers. I've been in nearly every club that our school offers. I've played basketball, volleyball, and I've ran track. So far, I've had a very successful basketball career, and I hope for this season to be the best season yet. What more could one ask for after winning 3 state championships in track and field? At one point in time, volleyball was also a very important part of my life. The only thing that I have hated about high school is all the drama. When you're a senior, you have too many other responsibilities to worry about, and you just want all the drama to go away. An event that took place during my high school years was my sweet 16th birthday party. It was such a great time, and it was the last time that I really got to be with all my friends before we all started going our own ways. It's hard to believe that it will all be over soon. The blacklight pep rallies, the games, senior week, the camps, lunchroom conversations, and of course my friends will truly be missed. High school has been great, and one day we will want it all back.
There wasn't much to do in my hometown, so every weekend night we would all go down. Yeah, there were freaks and hippies in my high school, Football players all trying to be cool, and everybody scrambling to hide their beer. When the cops drove by till the coast was clear. Kids falling in and out of love on the hoods of Chevys in the bed of trucks. We were stumbling our way through life till our senior year. But man, we sure did learn a lot in that Walmart parking lot.
So far, my senior year has been fantastic. The pep rallies, the games, homecoming, and just the fact of knowing that I am a senior. The two main things that have happened this year have been our senior pep rally and the powder puff football game. Our senior pep rally was so much fun because of the senior dance. The night practice, making our senior sign, hanging our senior sign from the school, and just being with the friends is what is great about being a senior. That week was a real bonding time for our whole class. Then there was the powder puff football game, where instead of the guys playing football, it was the girls playing what was supposed to be flag football. Of course, the seniors won because, well, we just kicked butt. I'm looking forward to the rest of my senior year. I cannot believe that before long it will all be over. I want one more state championship before I graduate. Even though I hate to run, I cannot wait for track season to start so we can achieve this goal. It makes me sick now just knowing that this is my last year to play high school basketball, but I cannot wait for the season to start. I told Coach just the other day that come the last basketball game, he would have to drag me off the court kicking and screaming because I'll be out there with my nails dug in the hardwood begging him to not let it be over yet.
You're gonna miss this. You're gonna want this back. You're gonna wish these days hadn't gone by so fast. These are some good times, so take a good look around. You may not know it now, but you're gonna miss this. You're gonna miss this. Yeah, you're gonna miss this.
If I could live my life over again, I would like to change some of the things I've said and done. Maybe I would not have been so mean to people. I have made mistakes, and if I could, I would maybe rethink some of my comments, decisions, actions, and reactions. School could have been more of a priority. On the court, I should have pushed myself a little harder. Thank you so much to the faculty and staff of this school. Mr. B, no wonder the number 32 is your favorite. It reminds you of me. I'm sorry, Coach Carpenter, for all the stress I've caused you, too, over the last 6 years. You know that I cannot help but stir it up. You would be amazed to know that all along I was listening and taking it all in. Nikki, even though you never were my teacher, I've learned so much from you. You are a great second mom. To the class of 2010, we have had our ups and downs and losses along the way, but I would not trade it for anything. I am grateful for every laugh, every fight, every tear, every scar, and every memory that we have made together. It is who we are. Even though I would like to be able to change some things, I think that it has all worked out for the best. What would I have learned if these things had not happened in my life? So I truly believe that everything that has happened in my life so far is a reason. They are lessons.
There's some things that I regret, some words I wish had gone unsaid, some starts that had some better endings. Been some bad times I've been through, damage I could not undo. Some things I wish I could do all over again, but it don't really matter when life gets that much harder. It makes you that much stronger. Oh, some pages turned, some bridges burned, but there were lessons learned. From every tear that had to fall from my eyes, and every day I wondered how I'd get through the night. Every change life has thrown me, I'm thankful for every break in my heart. I'm grateful for every scar. Some pages turned, some bridges burned, but there were lessons learned. There's mistakes that I have made, some chances I just threw away, some roads I never should have taken, been some signs I didn't see, hearts that I hurt needlessly, some could have one more chance to mend, but it don't make no difference. The past can't be rewritten. You get the life you're given. Oh, some pages turn, some bridges burn, but there were lessons I learned from every tear that had to fall from my eyes. From every day I wondered how I'd get through the night. From every change life has thrown me, I'm thankful for every break in my heart. I'm grateful for every scar. Some pages turned, some bridges burned, but there were lessons learned. And all the things that break you, all the things that make you strong. You can't change the past, 'cause it's gone. You just gotta move on, because it's all lessons learned from every tear that had to fall from my eyes. From every day I wondered how I'd get through the night. From every change life has thrown me, I'm thankful for every break in my
Can you wave back? Tell me what your name is.
Jessica Bouquet.